So now we'll see what are arrays in Python. Just like Java, Python also has arrays. But unlike Java, Python has 4 different types of arrays. They are list, tuple, set, and dictionary. Let's go through them one by one. First of all, list. So what are lists? Lists, as I told you, are very similar to arrays. They are written inside square brackets. They can contain any type of variables inside of them, like collection of strings, integers, floating numbers, a list within a list, etc. And one simple example of list is this. So this is a list having strings, number, a floating number, and a list within a list. Let's move on to code and see how we can do the list. So here it is. The first example is how to create a list. So to create a list, you'll just have to enter a variable and write your list inside square brackets. So in this example, the list I am taking is places, different places in India. So once I run it, it will print it because I've given the print command to print the whole list. Now, if you want to access items, and remember, each item in the list has an address. For example, Manali here is at 0th address. Missouri is at first address. Although the position is 1, but in Python the number starts from 0, remember. So here 2 means that the third item from the start, that is Shimla. If I print it, it will print Shimla because I am calling the third position from the start. That is why I have to write 2. The next is the negative indexing. Negative indexing means that if I want to print a list or if I want to read a list from behind, that is when I use a negative index. So negative index starts from -1. That is Shimla in the last is -1, Pune is -2, Mumbai is -3, and so on, right? So if I want to print the second last element, I'll write -2. And here it is, Pune. Now these are a range of indexes. And because it's a list and it has index elements, so you can play with ranges of index in the list. For example, okay, let me run the command first and I'll explain you with the result set. So in the first line, I'm printing the whole list, right? This is the whole list. Then the next program is to print the index, that is from 0, 0th index. So as you can see, the first is the Manali, that is it is at 0 index. So I'll only write the name of the list, and in the square bracket I'll write 0, that is first element, and when I print it, it will print Manali because that is the first element. The next is if you want to start at a certain point. For example, I'm starting the list at the 3rd position and ending at 6th. If you remember the range function, the last number is not included. So 6th is not included in the result set. So only print Darjeeling, Gwalior, and Agra. 3 means the 4th position, that is Darjeeling. Then we move on to Gwalior 5th and Agra 6th. Here 6 means 7th position, which is not included, that is Mumbai. Next is if I want to print the list from beginning to a certain item. For example, if I want to print till 4th element, right? So I'll write 0 to 5. 0 indicates the beginning and 5 indicates the 6th element, which is again not included. You can also write this without 0, that is in this format. So once you print it, it will print this list starting from Manali till Gwalior, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. The next is if I want to print from a certain item to the end. I'll write the number, the address from a certain item, colon, and I'll leave the space blank. I'll not write any number. It tells the Python that I am printing the list till the end if no number is mentioned. So once I print this, it will print from Shimla, that is 2, that is 0, 1, 2, that is from Shimla till Shimla. Now negative indexing. Earlier I showed you a particular negative indexing. Now it's a range of negative indexing. Starting from behind, -1 to -4, so it will be read as -4 to -1, not the opposite end, right? So starting from -4, that is -1, -2, -3, -4, that is printing from Agra, Mumbai and Pune. Again, the last number, that is -1, will not be included. So this is the item set. And if you thought that you could print the list like this, then you are wrong, because you cannot print the list from right to left. You can only print the list from left to right. The next is, if you want to loop through a list, you have to use a for loop, just in the case if you want to print a range. So to print a list, you just have to use the for loop. For items in the list name, print all the items, right? So these are all the items of the list. And the last method is length. If you want to calculate the length, or if you want to know the length of the list, because this is a very short list, I can manually count it as 9. There are 9 places in it. But imagine if there are hundreds or 10,000s and 500,000s of items in a list. You don't know that, but if you want to count the number, that how many items are there in the list, you use the length or len method. Just write len in front of the list name or before the list name and just print it. You'll get the length as 9.